everyone, and welcome back to my American Girl channel. Today I have a really exciting video, which is part 2 of another video I did, which is American Girl dolls everyone seems to hate. But before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be notified when I have a new doll related upload. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram because I post more on Instagram than I do on my YouTube. So if you want to be up to date on all of my doll purchases, make sure to follow me on Instagram. Now you're probably wondering, if I love American Girl so much and I have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to American Girl, why am I talking about American Girl dolls that everyone seems to hate? It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of like an oxymoron or something, or whatever that word means. But I decided to make this video because in the AG collecting community, I feel like there's a few dolls that stand out that a lot of people have negative opinions on. Not everyone, of course there's a lot of people who love these dolls, but here is just some reoccurring dolls that I see people on YouTube or Instagram say, I don't like this doll. So I thought I would compile a second part to the previous video I did, because in the previous video I just focused on historical characters because I was just getting back into collecting and I mainly just focus on historicals, but there is a few Girl of the Years and contemporary characters that I think a lot of people are not the biggest fan of. So first we have Girl of the Year 2001 Lindsay. Now I know a few people want Lindsay, but I often see her on lists like this saying she's underrated or forgotten or people's least favorite doll list, so she's not like the most hated character, but I felt like I should include her anyways, just because there is a lot of people out there who don't like her stories because they're basic, don't like her outfit because it's boring. Next we have Kaylie, Girl of the Year 2003. I personally don't like Kaylie because she has a habit of turning orange, as I mentioned in a previous video, just like Nellie's from around the same time. And I agree with a lot of people that her story is a good idea, you know, conserving the environment. However, it's just not executed very interestingly. Her collection is just kind of meh, and having brown hair and brown eyes is just kind of boring, considering when you can buy a Julie brand new from American Girl for a cheaper price than you could if you bought a Kaylie from eBay. Next we have Nikki. Now I personally don't agree with this. I think Nikki is a really cool character, and I have mentioned on my channel before that I think the messages in her books are really good for young kids to learn. However, I see a lot of people disliking her because they say Sage is better, and yes, I agree, Sage and Nikki are very similar to each other. I see a lot of people disliking Nikki because her collection seems all over the place, because she's into horses, and then she has a service dog, and then she also likes skiing, so people think it's a little bit all over the place, and I would have to agree in that aspect. Next we have Chrissy. Now I see a lot of people don't like Chrissy because they don't like the way she looks, and I would kind of agree. She does kind of look like a mom and not like a 9-year-old, which is really a shame because she had such an excellent message of anti-bullying, which I think is super important and definitely something I related to when I was younger. And then along with Chrissy, I feel like a lot of people forget about Gwen. Now, Sonali gets so much attention because she has the Sonali face mold, and Sonali is a very beautiful doll when you don't look at her character in the story or in the movie. But I feel like if more people paid attention to the actual characters in the book and in the movies, they would probably like Gwen more and Sonali wouldn't be as popular. I really don't like the message of sending to kids saying that you should befriend your bullies. That's just, I don't think that's a very good message to send young kids. So that's why I don't like Sonali. But Gwen is truly a victim in this situation. Gwen has a very interesting circumstance being homeless, and so I think that Gwen just gets forgotten about a lot, which is really, you know, upsetting because I feel like she is very valuable to the American Girl line. Next we have Gabriella. Now, if you've been on AGTube for even a short period of time, you have probably heard about the controversy surrounding Gabriella. For those of you who don't know, TENNEY was supposed to be the Girl of the Year in 2017. However, when it got leaked that American Girl was releasing another blonde doll for their Girl of the Year line, and not a doll of color like people wanted. American Girl decided to pull it and release Gabriella, which is basically a recycled Truly Me. I don't know the number, but it's essentially the exact same doll. So people were really upset about that, and a lot of the stuff in her collection was recycled too, such as McKenna's loft bed. And let's not forget the fact that American Girl possibly stole the idea of that famous poet who I'm forgetting the name of, but she did some poetry for the Joe Biden inauguration, so she's a pretty famous person. So American Girl just kind of copied her likeness, and they have done this several times in the past. So those are some of the reasons why people don't like Gabriella, which is kind of interesting because American Girl stopped TENNEY to make people happy, and they ended up, I think they just made it worse, to be honest. And then they decided to release TENNEY that year anyways, but as a contemporary character, and then they slapped Z onto it, who probably was going to be the Girl of the Year the following year. I don't know, the contemporary line is just a mess. Next we have Luciana. Now, you've probably heard me talk about Luciana. I did a video before talking about my opinions about Luciana, and I don't like her. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it. So personally, I really like a doll that's into science, considering I am into science myself. I'm studying anthropology/archaeology in university. So I love Luciana for that reason, but most people seem to be kind of meh about the science. I didn't realize how many people weren't into science when talking to them about Luciana. I thought a lot of people like science. A lot of people are kind of like meh about her being a science doll, but then also they really, really don't like her outfit, which I can 100% agree with. That outfit looks atrocious. Now, I do kind of believe that maybe a 12-year-old would wear that, but it's super not trendy and super not cool. Like, American Girls and like any doll line is supposed to be like heightened reality, so you want a doll that looks super gorgeous and super stylish. And yes, I think Luciana is realistic. I don't think she's very cool looking, which is, you know, not what you want with a doll. A doll is supposed to be like, kind of like the ideal reality. Next we have Blair. I feel like a lot of people dislike Blair, and I actually like Blair for her looks, and I do think her collection is pretty cute. It's very similar to my personal style, or not quite my personal style, but pretty close. Like the nice pastels, the flowery prints, that kind of thing. I really like that kind of stuff. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I love red-haired dolls. I really don't know why. I don't have red hair myself, but I just love red hair. So Blair seems like the perfect doll, and I do agree to some extent with some of the hate she gets because her story just seems kind of weird with her planning a wedding. But I do think aesthetically her collection is really cool, but it is very niche. I don't think a lot of, or I guess you would say niche in America, but it is, in Canada we say niche, but it is very particular type of style, so I could see why not everyone likes it. But I don't understand why people think she's more interesting than Joss. I find Joss pretty boring. I have no interest in Joss whatsoever, but I'm not including Joss in this video because this is a video of dolls that everyone else seems to hate, but I don't necessarily agree with myself, so Joss is not on this list, even though I think she should be. And then finally on this list, we're going to be moving on to the contemporary characters, and I'm pretty sure that she's going to be the thumbnail, and I'm pretty sure you guys know who she is, and that is TENNEY. Now, a lot of people don't like TENNEY. It's becoming kind of like an inside joke in the AG-IG community and a little bit on AG-Tube that people just don't like TENNEY. And I kind of agree with it. For some reason, TENNEY just looks... The best way I can describe it is like plastic. And you're probably like, all the American Girls are made of plastic. But I don't know. She just kind of has this look about her that looks cheap. Like, her freckles just don't look very good. Her hands, I know, are meant to hold a guitar, so that's why they're shaped all weird. But I personally really, really don't like it. I think it just looks tacky. People are like, wow, she looks like Taylor Swift, which I feel like is not the selling point or argument point that they think it is, because American Girl, like I said previous in this video, has a history of copying famous people and turning them into dolls and not giving them any money, which is very problematic. So the fact that they created a doll, like I would have no problem if they wanted to create a doll who is really into music and country music, but the fact that she looks like Taylor Swift is a little fishy to me. I do like Logan though. Logan is pretty cool. He's like my favorite boy doll. I don't like the hands thing, but the gray eyes and the brown hair is really beautiful. I wish there was a boy with blue eyes and brown hair in the Just Like You collection, because I would probably get him. I want a boy doll. I just don't like any of the boy dolls that are out right now. Red-haired boy would be really cute. Yeah. Anyways, that is it for my video today. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be notified when I have new uploads. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram. That way you're up to date with all the new dolls I get. And if the comments are open, because YouTube has a habit of turning them off, if they are open, leave a doll that you think everyone hates, and whether or not you agree with it or not. Or, yeah, just leave your opinions about your favorite or least favorite doll down below. I really like to hear what you would have to say. And I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.